live. So if you are watching live, welcome. Thank you. We are actually live on Zoom. So if you'd like to join us there, please reach out and you can get the Zoom information. If you are on Instagram, you can see the Zoom information. And this is our Cosmic Conversations that we do every Thursday. And I am Stacie Harder, and I have the epic Dr. Heather Harder with me, who is author, entrepreneur, extraordinaire, pretty much everything you can imagine. Spiritually gifted beyond belief. For over 30 years has been teaching, channeling, and how to communicate with spirits. She's got many books. This is Many Were Called, Few Were Chosen. That if you've been watching me lately, I've also been reading live on YouTube, so you can watch me read chapter by chapter. And for me, my mission and my intention is just to assist you in living in a more empowered life, that we are going through so much as a collective. And this is our Cosmic Conversations, where we get to discuss and learn how to be the best self with the most love and amazingness possible. So with that being said, I'd like to officially welcome Dr. Heather Harder, who happens to be my mother.
Thank you, Stacie. That's quite an elaborate introduction. And I too welcome you to our Thursday night conversation. We're here every Thursday night, either by Zoom, and Stacie will put all the Zoom numbers in the links, and by live broadcasting through Facebook and Instagram and all those kinds of things. If you can get on Zoom, that's fun, because then I can see your face. And when I do spirit sprinkles or little individual messages, I can include you. If you're on the line through Facebook or Instagram, I can't pick up your energy per se. So my apologies with that. The goal in these conversations is just to help, I've just put in a bird sanctuary in my backyard. And of course, we know the squirrels love all the bird food. And so you put Vaseline on the little poles so they can't climb up the little poles. And it causes them to slide down. They have no traction. And kind of that's what we do with life. If we can take and make our trip through life to be less resistance, more sliding, more fun, then we're doing that. So as you become more authentic, as you have a greater understanding of how the universe works around you, the easier it is to just slide through with less friction, with less distraction, more authenticity, and certainly more love. And with that, we have some agendas that we do. The first thing we do is just what I call our invocation, our little welcoming, and also calling in our desire to know truth. Because every day is a new day by design, I would really like you to get in the habit of always calling in truth, protection, and guidance. That habit, that magic threesome, allows you to go through life with the least amount of resistance and with the most amount of cosmic support, and allowing it to influence your life. So with that, I'm going to say our little invocation. You can agree to it. You can repeat after me. You can just say amen, or however you want to just agree to it. This is your journey too. But unless you call in truth for you, it'll be more difficult for you to accept, identify, and integrate. So that's our goal. So with that, we come together in the spirit of unity and unconditional love. We ask the divine forces of truth and wisdom to open us to the inspired knowledge and wisdom required for service to Earth and her inhabitants. Guide us into a world of action. Give us the will and the power to express in this human life the beauty we find when in communion with Spirit. Provide the divine protection, guidance, and ability to discern truth needed to achieve our divine potential. Let us release all that is not truth, neutralize all distractions, distortions, and dissolve all obstacles that may slow or impede our divine path to greatness. Let every word spoken, thought held, or intention set be a reflection of our truth. Every day, in every way, let our ability to discern truth, allow protection, and receive guidance grow. We willingly accept truth and protection and guidance where and how we find it, peacefully, joyfully, and harmoniously integrating them into our totality. Let our individual and collective path of truth take us ever closer to our greatest potential. We are the love, the strength, the courage, and the perseverance required to walk our path of honor for now and evermore. So it is. I am grateful.
So it is.
And that's the way we start, just calling in that intention. And again, if you want a copy of this, my email, heather@heatherharder.com. I'll be happy to email it to you. And it is important every day to set those intentions until you are so good at recognizing anything that is not truth vibrationally that it can't become part of who you are. We're being bombarded with false information, sometimes well intended, sometimes not so well intended. And it's really important that we only allow truth to penetrate our soul. With that, because we are a group of light workers, the next thing on our agenda is to play with the light. We literally use the light to serve this planet and its people, and we do that through our imagination, through our intention, through our visualization. And this was a visualization I was given, gosh, nearing 30 years ago now. And it has proven powerful in many, many, many different ways at different times. Feel free to alter it to serve your needs or wants or desires. I will share each time it's different. I don't come from an agenda. I come from connection. And so include different things at different times, but feel free to include others with this. The importance of unconditional love is that we only give out a vibration of unconditional acceptance. That vibration of the highest form, love, light, God, all carry the same vibration. And as we give it, it comes with no strings. We don't give love to heal someone, or give love to fix someone, or give love to change someone. That becomes conditional love, and that can alter their karmic path. And it also causes you to reap a karmic consequence. We don't want karma. We're doing away with karma. We're balancing our karma. So we want to just give unconditionally that which we have in abundance, and let people use this energy in the way that serves them, the world, and our divine purpose. Before we get started with that, anybody have any questions? And Stacie, you are the interpreter of questions on Facebook and Instagram. So does anyone have any questions before we do our little exercise?
I don't have a question, but we do have I love your hair to Heather.
Well, thank you very much. Send them back a little kissy. So we love that.
Okay, well, you're telling her right now, so she hears you.
Okay, good enough. And so our place of power, where we are most connected to the divine, to all the forces that we are part of, is when we go to center. Whether you call that your happy place or your place of center, it doesn't matter. It's the core essence of who you are energetically, all rolled into one. In that place of center, we are connected to the spiritual forces, the unseen world, and we are connected to the physical world, of which we have volunteered to be a part of. In that place of unity is where we are most in our power. So some people like to make it look like something in their imagination. I love beaches, so mine is this beautiful beach. Sometimes people make it look like their living room or their family room or the woods, wherever you feel most comfortable most safe, most secure, most connected. We are moving into places center with the intention of being in union. The more you go to center, like before you meditate or before you go to bed, the more you move into this place, you'll begin to feel that energy become integrated into who you are. Eventually, you'll live in center so that it will feel odd when you move out of center. And that's really our goal, to move into that divine energy so frequently and so often that it becomes our place of residence. And then it will feel foreign not to be in that centered place. So, if you will, just take a deep breath and move into center. I close my eyes just to block out all the distractions, but eyes are not magic. If you want your eyes open, you can have them open. If you want them closed, you can have them closed. Doesn't make any difference. You don't have to make your center look like anything. It's just your happy place. It's your divine, perfect little nest. So, if you will, in your own imagination, go to center. And what you'll feel is just a tiny bit more comfortable. You'll feel your energy just sort of click into a more peaceful state. It's a great idea to pay attention to how you feel before you move to center and then how you feel when you come out of center. Your body is the truth teller. It's the body that you want to monitor for your spiritual progress. So if you go to center, and then in that place, we're just going to imagine stretching our energy up into the universe, connecting with all the heavenly helpers, connecting with that cosmic love force energy, and then sending our energy into the earth, connecting with all the earthly energies, so that you become that connector of heaven and earth. You are here to bring heaven to earth. And as you move into that intentional place, that's exactly what you're doing. You're bringing the heavenly energies into the earthly experience and allowing you to be that wonderful ambassador between the two. So just feel that union. Energy can flow back and forth in however way it serves. And then we just again agree to serve the universe, the highest forces, the divine, what you call that, God, or all that is, or great spirit, a great mystery, whatever the term is that you have, that oneness of all creation. Just allow yourself to move in balance with it. And then, if you will, in this place of power, I want you to imagine seeing your light and love, your essence, that vibratory core of who you are. You are light, you are love, you have chose to take on a body, you are not a body, but you have a body. You are not your mind, you have a mind. And in this place, we're going to send light and love into the earth, filling every cell in, on, and around this planet with the love that you are, collectively unified with all the forces that support this planet. All those who stand to serve this planet and its people. Just feel their energies flow through you into the earth. The atmosphere is that covering to the planet. It's exceedingly important to her well-being, just as your skin is important to your body's well-being. What we're going to do now is just send this love out into the universe, into the atmosphere, surrounding this planet with this blanket of pure, unconditional love, this vibratory, protective covering. To see the light spread around the planet, allowing the universe to use its protective barrier in any way that sees fit. Now, on this planet at this time, there are those who want to interfere with the well-being of the planet intentionally. Imagine that. And there are those who want to interfere with the atmosphere intentionally. We're just going to imagine our love and light expanding still and surrounding these people with a bubble of love, a bubble of light. Everything is of God. Everything is of light. Some people let their light shine brighter than others. Those who dim their lights, my spirit friends call them the lesser lights. They're still part of the divine oneness, but they've just forgotten their connection. So by just loving them, surrounding them with light, we give them the opportunity to remember we don't name an outcome. That would be manipulation, and that would make us no different than they. We just want to love them. Planet Earth finds her balance through the weather patterns. And through our weather patterns, we have experienced very extreme weather. That's because the Earth is sick, and we're here to help her. So by just loving the weather patterns, we are providing a magic healing potion. So if you will, just imagine all the weather patterns around the planet and just fill them with love. And give permission to the angels to use our love to continue to fill those weather patterns and those places where weather patterns are existing with our love. And we have those people who manipulate the weather for their own agenda, for their own good, and we're going to love them too. We weaponize the weather, we control it for our own purposes, and we want to just love it and love the people who are doing this. And then we have lots of people on the planet who are in war, who are in conflict, who are in hate, who are in racism, we are in all the other isms of the world. We're going to love the places where those energies exist and where those people who embrace those energies are. We're just going to love them. Earth is a planet of duality. By design, for every up, we have to have it down. For every love, we have to have some hate. For every good guy, we have to have a bad guy. So we're just going to love them all. Our job is to choose love, but our job is not to dictate how others choose. And then we send love and light out into the mass consciousness of the planet, the place where all consciousness, all the collective thoughts, actions, deeds of all people who've ever been on this planet and ever will be on this planet resides. Just imagine sending love into that mass consciousness. And anything you've ever put in this mass consciousness, imagine flipping it to its highest vibration. Everything is just energy. And if you created it, you have the right to alter it. So those angry words when you were a teenager can be softened and muted and loved now into unconditional love. And on this planet, we have a lot of businesses. We have a lot of organizations who are working sometimes for the good of the planet, sometimes for the good of themselves. We're going to love them all, and all the people who run these organizations, who are making decisions that influence and affect others. We're just going to put this divine love energy in them and around them. And we have throughout this planet lots and lots of leaders, political leaders at local levels, state levels, at federal levels, or national levels. We're just going to love them. We're going to love all those who are aspiring to be a political leader. They're maybe just candidates now, but we're just going to love them. Imagine what it would be if all of our leaders came from this energy of love, who were aware of the divine oneness that affects all. We can't mandate that. That would be control and manipulation. But we can hold the vision for that, and we can love them. People who are hurting, who have been impacted by abuse at every level, sexual, physical, emotional level. We're going to just love them and see the bounds, the cords and the binding that holds them to this old hurt vibration. We're going to just imagine that love penetrates all of them. And those who are the perpetrators, the abusers, the violators, we're going to love them as well. Our job is to spread love on the planet, not because you deserve it, but because you are here. We are destined to love everyone and everything. And then we have this little cootie on the planet that's caused a lot of trouble, the COVID-19 virus. Imagine what that little prickly thing looks like. I'm sure you've seen lots of pictures of it. Just imagine filling it with love so that it glows and vibrates a pure divine energy. And just imagine everyone who's been impacted by it, directly or indirectly, is also glowing with love. Everything serves us. Everything can be a lesson for our growth and compassion and opportunities. We're just going to love them and be open to the lesson that it provides. If you move into hate or violence or struggle or judgment, you're feeding the beast. We only want to feed the beast love. And anyone who's been impacted directly with COVID, we want to send them lots and lots and lots of love. And right now in this country, the United States, we have our two presidential candidates. One is a sitting president, one is a president to be, or wants to be, Biden and Trump. And I want you just to imagine filling them both with love. Regardless of your political affiliation, we're just going to love them. See them as that pure, radiant, divine energy. Everything comes from the same source. Not everybody chooses to grow in the light, but our job is just to love them all. Now, if there are people in your world, directly or indirectly, that you would like to use this collective energy to send to them, infuse them with it, then please do so now. Family and friends, situations or events, just love them. People who are in pain and suffering, love them. And the same thing with our animal kingdom and our plant kingdom and our stone people. There's a lot of beings that are not physical, that are also in pain, also in hurt and disrespect. Just love them too. And we give permission to the angels to continue to use our collective love and light in any way that serves this planet, any way that serves the people on this planet, in any way that serves those who serve the light. And universal law says anything you send out, you must be willing to receive. And because we've been sending out unconditional love, without limit, then open your intentions to receive this love back. Open your intentions to accept the love that is your nature, that is your destiny. And just feel this light, this love, this divine essence fill every cell of your body. Every cell of your body being transformed. If you feel any obstacles or blocks, just take a deep breath and feel that breath on the inhale going to that place of obstruction and releasing it. Deep breath. And collectively, as we bring this energy into us, it transforms us so the love we send out again is even more empowered, more beautiful, more radiant, more of the divine energy of our potential. What I'd like you to do is just imagine, if you're willing, to breathe in all the hurt and the pain and the collective resistance on the planet. Just breathe it in as if you were a human recycler, and you're going to transform that negative energy, that lower vibration energy, into its highest form as you breathe out. So you're breathing out pure, unconditional love. And whenever you're in a place of resistance, either in yourself or others, just imagine breathing in that negative energy, transforming it, and breathing it out as unconditional love. Energy has no beginning, it has no end, it cannot be stopped, but it can easily be transformed. And light and love is the highest transformative power on the planet. It's why you are here. Take a deep breath and anchor this energy, this love energy, in your body, in your mind. And when you're ready, just come back to the here and now. You can remain in center if you like, but come back into the consciousness of here and now and feel how you feel. And if you have a journal, jot down a few words about how you feel. If not, you're welcome to jot down in the chat or in the feed. But come back slowly and gently. And if you want to share how you feel, you're welcome. Anybody want to share how they feel or any awareness? Yes, Lindsay, stretch. That's a wonderful way of making space in your body to hold the more energy. It opens your cells up. So stretching, that's why yoga is so powerful. You want to stretch. Anybody want to comment? Anybody want to ask anything?
I just love that. It's always just so yummy. Thank you.
They call me Mellow Yellow. Christina, your hand is up, so we're going to unmute you. And you can raise your hand electronically or in physical.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Is it normal to feel lightheaded after doing that?
Okay. Take the word normal. Imagine it written on a sheet of paper. Okay. Then crumple the paper up and throw it in an imaginary fireplace and see that word disappear from your world. We're not here for normal.
Yeah.
And every one of us have a completely different body we have created and that we have used and abused through many, many lifetimes. And so you have to trust that whatever's happening to you is a divinely perfect. It's where the word trust comes in. This is divinely perfect. And many people often state that they feel lightheaded. So it's a typical kind of reaction. But normal, we ain't normal. You sitting talking about light beings and otherworldly beings, those aren't normal. So, okay.
Okay.
And what will happen oftentimes as you're playing with this higher energy, you're literally the cells that can't spin fast enough to meet this vibratory need, you'll eliminate. So that's why I do recommend having lots of water around to drink, because the water helps the spin. It amplifies the shedding of these slower, older cells so you can produce newer ones, and you often will get diarrhea. Diarrhea is a sacred experience. Not saying that if you have diarrhea, you should not be concerned about it, because again, intensity, duration, lots of other things impact it. But oftentimes when you're speeding up your acceleration process, you have to get rid of the old cells. Using a very simplified example, you may get rid of 100 cells, but only reproduce 75 that can spin faster and do the job of creating the illusion of the other 100. Therefore, you're creating more space in your body. That's where we get the less density. The light is not opposite. It's not like a GE light bulb. We're going to glow. Light is a less dense body. If you've ever had a huge Thanksgiving meal and you feel so, you feel really dense. Well, as we move this vibratory shift, we'll feel lighter. It's not about losing weight. It's about density. I promise you, you're not going to glow like a GE light bulb, but you will have much less density. You'll feel more buoyant. And that could be what you're experiencing with your sensations in your head. Okay?
Okay.
So what are we going to do with the word normal?
It's in the fireplace. We crumpled it up.
It's gone. I'm getting chills with that. Again, if you're trying to be normal, that was what we did when we were kids. We wanted to fit in. As junior high and high school kids, we wanted to fit in and be normal. Well, now we're smarter than that. Normal is not our goal anymore. We're so beyond normal. So, but thank you for the question. Great conversation.
There's a couple of comments. Jennifer, do you want to say it, or do you want me to read it?
She's muted.
Sure, I can say it. I feel much lighter, like a release from the week, and then I feel balanced and grounded to move forward.
Yes, and that's exactly the goal of this process. Not only are you doing good work, but good things are happening to you in exchange, because when you do good, you get good. And good equal God. It's just more acceptable to say good than God. God is a very controversial term. Who's God? My God? What God? And so it's easier to talk about the universe or divine or whatever, but it's all one force.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing. And hopefully at the end of every call, you feel a little bit more empowered, a little bit more lighter, a little bit more confident at being authentic through the week. And again, Stacie's very good at having these on her feed on the different social media. So if you need a reshot, you can go back and listen to it or do it yourself through the week. You don't have to wait just for Thursdays.
And that being said, I love Jennifer's comment also about love it. We normal talking about star beings. And she said, ha ha ha. And then Mayfair said, I feel lighter. When you said to be open to receive energies of the universe, I feel my crown chakra opening.
Exactly. And I'm so happy you're saying that. The challenge is on when we're not in this meditation, we're not in this experience, because we started this experience asking for protection and guidance and truth. You wouldn't want to open yourself like that or just call in the energies if you're in the middle of the airport or in the middle of a protest, because you're still bringing them in, but the energies you're bringing in may not be in your highest and best good. So because we did the protection aspect first, you don't have to worry about getting any contamination. But when you're in your own life and you open yourself up to receive the energies of the universe, make sure you always add for my highest and best good and the highest and best good of all concerned. Again, safety first. Okay. But thank you.
Got to remember that
Anyone
cosmic
else?
condom, Heather Harder.
Yeah. Cosmic condom is just a light, a sheath of light that we put around us when in times we feel we need it, or just wear it in life. It's a way of protecting us from any of the energies less than that light. A very high vibratory light spins very fast. So the lower energies, which are the more negative energies, can't get through because it's spinning so fast. By putting that high vibrational shield up, we protect ourselves from anything that does not serve us. I can remember when Stacie was horrified that I talked about a cosmic condom. Now she likes it. I wonder which of us changed.
We all get to evolve.
Amen. Any questions before I start talking about the thing that I want to talk about? And Q&A. Any questions online, Stacie?
Not at this moment, Dad and Mom. It's a joke because she gets me confused with my sister's name, so I then tease her.
I don't get you confused. I get the names confused. I spit out the names, but I know exactly who you are in real life. And only a mother understands that. So just, okay. Terry, do you have children? No, okay. Any other questions?
On my own.
And
I think Sylvia, Lindsay, and you, Mom, I think are the only moms on this one right now, at least on the Zoom.
Sylvia, have you ever screwed up names when you're calling the name? Okay,
I've even
good.
called them our pet names. They're like, Mom, I go, okay, 1, 2, 3, that's it. Yes, and I used to make fun of my mom. Yeah, it happens.
Well,
1.5 years.
I've never called Stacie a pet name, so
I think you
although
have.
it may start.
There's
my
just
new
way
pet
too
is
many people
Sunshine.
in that house. Way too many.
I just thought she had 5 years
Amen.
series name down, so when I came along, she named me. So I thought, maybe it would be easy.
We know, but when it comes out, we're like, whatever. We're not gonna fuss at it. We're like, it came out, that's it. But you know what I meant, right? You know it was you.
Jennifer, you've got a daughter that's 29. I'm shocked.
Yes.
I wouldn't guess you're that old.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
51.
shocked.
You're what?
51?
Woo, Mama.
Yeah. Yay.
You are very kind to your body because your body is very kind to you.
Yeah.
There is a question that says, each time I pray or meditate, I feel a lot of energy coming out of my hands and sometimes can't control it. I wonder why.
Well, first of all, why are you trying to control it? You have energy vortexes. Every cell of your body is both a sender and a receiver of energy. It's by design. So when you're doing these experiences, it literally is going from every aspect. We've heard a lot about the energy centers that we call chakras or centers, but we have many more energy vortexes than those primary ones, including a vortex in the palm of each hand, which is why many people will automatically start playing with their hand. When I was in the temple in Abydos, I think it was Abydos, in Egypt, I just started automatically moving my hands in a very distinct pattern because it just seems so natural in that energy. But your energy centers are both senders and receivers. So if you're feeling that energy flow, don't stop it. I mean, that's a powerful thing. You're also receiving energy. So when you're in a as you send more energy, you also become more perceptive at receiving the energy. So if you walk into a room where people are fighting or negativity, you'll feel it more intensity, with greater intensity. If you are in a place where people are being very negative and what I call toxic, you will feel that much more vividly and can even have reactions to it. Christina, can I tell you a story a little bit? Okay, thank you. Christina called me because she went to McDonald's and ate some fries and she got so distressed and she couldn't get this taste out of her mouth or whatever. It's because, and we don't know exactly what was going on. It could have been a very negative cook. When I had childcare centers, I made sure that I had happy cooks because their food tastes different than an unhappy cook. Even, and I had 4 centers so I could experiment and try different things. But that your mood when you're preparing the food will make a huge difference. So it could have been a very unhappy person who was creating them or cutting them or frying them or whatever. It could have been the oil was rancid. I mean, there's a million reasons why those fries could have impacted her, but it went on for what, 10 or 11 days. And then
days, and my tongue was on fire. Like, I'm talking on fire. Okay, sorry,
well, what happens is we become much more sensitive. Our body becomes higher vibration, more attuned both to the positive energies as well as the negative energies. And so what I recommended is that she immediately do some detoxing, and I gave her a couple suggestions, and she had been in a health food store and picked up detox tea and thought, oh, I don't need that, and put it back. Her body was telling her what it wanted, but she's now resisting with her mind. Oh, I don't need that. But when I told her the same thing, it's like, okay, I'll go back and get the detox tea. So it really is important that your body will look for the ways to stabilize itself if you listen. But when your body is sending this energy out, and it's just love, you can't do any harm just sending love. You may impact change, but as long as it's just unconditional, it is just love. And so as Christina did her detoxing, it all stabilized and went back to normal. Very important. Anything you want to add with that story, since it's your story?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do, because I actually had a very spiritual experience when I went back to the market. I felt my father with me, and I physically felt his love. Like, I felt it. And we walked around the store and he would turn my head. He's like, I know you like that, because I'm also preparing for, just in case it gets very cold here, in case there are food shortages. And we went through the supermarket and he literally led me to all the things that he thought that I would like. Because now I don't eat meat. I can't even eat dairy the past few days. My body doesn't want it. So when we were at the market, he was like, you like that, get that. Like, that's okay. You'll like that. And I just felt him. I actually felt a wave of love and I couldn't deny it. It was undeniable. It was
And,
special.
and that's another example. As your body gets a higher vibration, and this is actually on the area that I wanted to talk about tonight. As your body begins to vibrate at a faster speed, you become more sensitive to everything, both more sensitive to the toxins in the meat and the dairy and the other things, as well as the sweet other side of life, and those who are here to support you, and the kindness and compassion of others. You become more sensitive to everything. And it's, again, why I do recommend that you ask for protection and guidance in that process, because you want to eliminate as much of the negative that you can get around, or that you may find yourself around, and have it transmuted into the most positive form. And you are all here as transmuters. The energy that you play with can all be transformed, whether you're in court and dealing with surly lawyers, or whether you're at the beach with someone. You can be transmuting energy everywhere. Just sort of human recyclers. It's why you're here. But thank you for the story.
No, thank you. Through that experience, I got to actually like really feel him and spend the day with him. I've never done that before, consciously.
So when I ask you what was the upside of feeling the toxic energy of those fries, you literally can see there was a positive for every, and I mean every experience. There's equal and opposite up as well as down. And it's just about finding the up and maximizing that.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
Thank
Candace,
you.
I love your active participation. If I ever have my own church, I want you in church going, yes, praise the Lord. She's, because you are so actively involved.
And by the way,
any,
you've spoken at many, many churches around the country, because I've been with you to many of them.
Yes. I've spoken at many, many, many churches. I've even had a couple ministers, which I thought was kind of surprising, tell me that they wish they had the kind of faith that I had. It's like, you're a minister, don't you? I would think that they would automatically have, but not so. But I have been blessed, and I'm open to going to more. If you know of a church that wants to have me talk, I'm available. I think we're getting into our traveling period. So if you want me to come to your area, all you have to do is ask. Ask me. What, Stacie?
You are an ordained minister, so you can actually do weddings.
Okay,
Yeah.
anything? Thank you, Stacie.
Just a quick reminder too, before you go into that, we might be getting cut off short on the IG. So just a reminder, heatherharder.com. You can always email at heather@heatherharder.com. We have lots of stuff coming up, including this Saturday is the start of Write Your Own Book program. Today's the last day for early bird pricing of $397. That $397 includes a Saturday 2-hour workshop every Saturday at 2:30 LA time, 3:30 Mountain, 4:30 Central, and 5:30 Eastern, New York. So that is, again, it's going to be every Saturday at 2:30 for 2 hours, and then the optional Sunday. So every day we'll get homework. And so if you have homework questions, then Sunday we meet at the same time, the same thing, and you can just ask questions or go into more deep, like whatever we need, that will be the processing/question time. And then there's also a VIP package for $888, and that includes the whole entire class, but it also has 8 personal private sessions with Heather, which is once a week, 30 minutes, and kind of go through any private one-on-one assistance that you need for that process. And it is A to Z. Many of us are being called right now by Spirit to start writing, but maybe we don't know exactly what to write or how to write or what. So this is literally gifted from, I'd say, the divine, from mom. Say, okay, you need to put this class together because it's important. We are being requested. Our energy, our magic uniqueness is our vibrational place. And so if we can put that inside of a book and people can have that book, your energy is spreading, and we're here to raise the consciousness on this planet, which means you are not here by accident, which means you too are a part of the grand shift. We each have our puzzle piece. So yours is a unique gift to who you are. So be in that. Follow your heart. If you want to join us in this program, it's literally from starting from outline to fonts to publishing to marketing. And you can literally have your book out by the end of the year. So if you've ever wanted to be an author, now's your time to do it in a spiritual place with my mom, Dr. Heather Harder, who's got over 30 years in writing books. And this is her very first book. Many were called, few were chosen. The story of Mother Earth and Earth-based volunteers, which is basically why we're on the planet, what's happening on the planet, and what we're going through right now. Only it's her story from 30 years ago. So if you'd like to join us, let us know. But again, today's the last day for $397. Tomorrow it goes to $444. And if you want to do the VIP, 8 30-minute sessions once a week. What are you looking at me that for?
Me?
Yeah, you're giving me a funny.
I'm experiencing your energy. That's.
All right.
I also, there's a preview call tomorrow at 6 p.m. for those who may have questions or want to do a little pre-work. So if you want to join us for the pre-call tomorrow, let me know, or let Stacie know. You'll be getting for the people who have signed up, you'll be getting a letter tomorrow with all the access information and the actual dates and all that stuff. Thank you, Stacie.
Saturday.
It starts Saturday. And then we have a follow-up call on Sunday.
So it starts 10/10/2020, which is a really cool, fun number. 10/10/2020.
Yeah, cool number. And then for those who are wanting to have the classes again on Wednesdays, like, I don't know, can you all see them in the chat? Because I did post them in the chat, the times. Can you see them?
So if you're on our live, you have the schedule there. Yes.
Okay, on the master class, the mind mastery is on the 14th. 10/21 is the body mastery. 10/28 is the manifestation. And for Candace, the power, control, and healthy boundaries masterclass is on 11/11. Just for you, Candace.
And
but everybody's invited.
Interested in the Egypt, we're going to be doing two calls, October 20th at the same time as we are now at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And then also a call on November 10th for Egypt. The cool thing about Egypt is Mom also does a live past life, let's go back and do that again. What's it called? Past life
regression.
That's it. So we do a past life regression, so you get to see one of your past lives in Egypt, and it's pretty special experience. And if you have questions,
Egypt has a very powerful transformative energy on her own. No one goes to Egypt and comes home the same as they left. And so by doing the past life, you literally are reconnecting that energy, even if you don't plan on going with us to Egypt. It still is something to reconnect to and help with your own transformative experience on the planet. And everybody has, I've to date not met anyone who doesn't have a past life in Egypt, at least one. And because we do it several times, many people have connected with many lifetimes in Egypt, partially because Egypt has such a long history. If we looked at life in the United States, we've only got 200 years, but we have probably 20,000 years of Egyptian history that we can connect to. So it's always interesting to see where people go and what they experience. And then we'll be talking about the trip and the details of the trip. I just finished those today. And so the trip will officially begin on the 20th of February and end on March 6th. And so, and if you're to Egypt with us, you'll be there for my birthday. We'll celebrate my birthday in Egypt, which is kind of exciting.
To continue on, we will have in my opinion, I'm calling it a goddess retreat.
Let me finish with that before you go into that part. We always do an extension because we're in that neighborhood. It's much cheaper to go and do something else after Egypt, and plus Egypt is so very intense that it's nice to have sort of a calming down experience. So now our extension for this trip is, go ahead, Stace, take it away.
The land of the goddess, which I am super excited to reconnect in this lifetime with. It's been calling for a while, and so this is to me a very yummy.
So say the name of the country, because they may not.
Greece.
We're going to Greece, which is just across the Mediterranean, and so it's going to be very close. And so usually that trip is much cheaper to add on to Egypt rather than go there on its own. But it's a very powerful place. I've been there a couple times, and well worth the adventure of it.
And this will be.
I've been listening to Greek music in my car now, so I'm getting in the energetic mood of Zorba the Greek and so on.
Christina's from Greece.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I see you want to talk. Go ahead, talk. Yeah, I see it.
That's amazing. Yet I was talking to my guys and I said, if they say, even if it doesn't happen, but if they say February 20th that we'd be going to Egypt, that's my birthday. And I was like, I'm definitely.
Oh, I got chills. I got chills.
I said, if it's the 20th, I have work to do because then I need to go on this trip. If it's the 20th, I'll be there. And you said, I go, even if it doesn't happen on the 20th. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Odds out of all of the days.
I love that. And I
can translate for everyone in Greece.
Say that again?
I can translate for everyone.
Then you can see.
Oh,
see? And you know what? On this trip, I thought somebody's going to come along that's going to be able to speak Greek, or Greek, whatever it's called. And so that's amazing. And when I was playing, I sort of do a screening of the calendar to say, okay, when do we go? When do we come back? And just play with it. And it was very, very distinctly February 20th. It was like, that was the day we had to go. And I also always check for full moon. So the 27th is the full moon that we'll be in Egypt for. So, and that's always very special and spectacular as well.
And that's usually, hopefully, when we can have our private session in the Great Pyramid of Giza alone. So we get to go into the Great King's Chamber inside the pyramid. And each year it gets more special and more aligned. And I do believe when the right people are inside, it's going to shift and move. And I believe it's going to launch itself, what I've seen. But anyways, it's a very magical place, and to be in there with those energies, we go in really early before the sunrise, and the stone is just this epic chill, but it's clear of everybody's energy since the evening before, and it's just this really magical on the lights and unlocking, and it's just this it's so everything. There's words that don't really do it justice other than just this euphoric, like, oh my gosh. And if you've seen my Instagram, you see some of those stones are just huge. And then inside it is just the perfection and the chisel. And then you see where we've tried to manage the walkway, and it's like nothing of what we can do today. It's magical. It's a really powerful place. And we did What, Lindsay?
My body literally lit up when you said Greece too, for some reason. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
We've gone to Jordan, Israel, Turkey. We've gone to different places around there, but I think Greece is going to be the most powerful because
my daughter's been wanting to go to Greece for the longest time. She had this music video, this girl that was filmed out in Greece. And as soon as she saw the video, she fell in love with it. And she's like, Mom, I've got to go to Greece. I've got to go to Greece. And I was like, okay, we'll figure out a way to go, you and I, one of these days, So never know.
Well, again, there's 2 preview calls for the Egypt trip. I'll go through it. And one is on October 20th. And then one is on November 10th. I can add dates to that because I do want to do before the year's over a I don't know how we do it on Zoom, but a presentation on just going inside the pyramids, because even just looking at the pictures and talking about it, you bring that energy through you, and it really is amazing. So you'll see a lot of the things that Stacie's been talking about. And I have a handful of people who've been there 3 and 4 times, and they say that each time they go, it gets more powerful. It doesn't get old. And it's a powerful experience, transformative. I mean, you just say goodbye to everybody, you leave, because you're not coming back the same person. You're coming back completely different.
I feel like that.
Any questions?
Every,
Okay, you're bubbling, so say it again.
every year that I go to Greece, it's so powerful too. Like there's something so, I feel like where I've been in the world, it is the closest to heaven that I can get on this earth. And if Egypt is even more powerful, then I can only imagine this experience we're going to have. Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, thank the universe, because I was literally forced into it. I didn't know that's what I signed up for. And then and I'll tell the story on the preview calls, but it was just lightning bolt from heaven. I had to go to Egypt, and I went. I didn't put it back like some of us did the detox tea. I said, okay, I'm going to Egypt tomorrow. And so I went and bought my ticket and was on the plane. And then the next year I was going back, because I said, I'll never go a year of my life without visiting at least once. And people started saying, can I go with? Can I go with? Can I go with? And that was the beginning of what I do now. I mean, I never thought about taking people. And then after I started taking people, it's like, well, we can rent the pyramids. And so we can do things as a small group that we can't do individually. And that's really where the power is. And I think everybody should do it at least once in their life, and more if possible.
Totally. And I just think this is important as a follow-up, is that this is the time to stop allowing yourself to be limited by the mind. This is the time to really put out those yummies and those desires and those, like, what do you want? And that simplicity of setting your intentions even on the trip. Egypt, right? She's not on the call today, but a lady who went with us in the last time, she knew she wanted to go to Egypt, and she was just like, okay, if I'm supposed to go. And she literally manifested a $20,000 cash gift kind of thing. And so please, all you have to do is put it out there and know that it will come, but don't hold on to it. Don't, strangle it. But when you get in alignment with our classes, the mind mastery and the body mastery and the manifestation, you'll start realizing that the more aligned you are in your life, the more magical you're going to see everything unfold. The magical of how many chills you got tonight. The magical of, we are literally little goblets, as Mom calls us. We're here to have fun and be what we want to create. So if you want to have these experiences, then just put it out there and let the universe take care of it.
Christina, that is so funny to see that dog playing in your hair.
He's just a baby. So he just wants to hang out.
And he likes your hair.
Yes, he does. I'm so happy.
Okay. So I think we've got Egypt covered. I think we've got the workshops covered, and I think we've got the writing covered. Yeah. So any other questions? And we can talk a lot about Egypt. And for those who I have your email, I will be sending out the Egypt letter that has more information about the trip and the preview calls and that kind of stuff. So once we do the 2 preview calls for the people who have committed to the trip, then we start the pre-trip training January 4th, I think. And then we do a weekly session, just getting different aspects of the trip ready. So when you get to Egypt, you already have mastered all the key things, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time there learning and getting instructions. You really sort of understand how the shopping works and how the money works and how the transportation works and how the food works and that kind of stuff. And so it really just sort of acclimates you before you get there. Plus, when you make the commitment to go, Egypt starts working on you immediately. So your dreams get more intense. Other experiences become very vivid. So It's very powerful. Okay. Any questions? Anything? All right. I have a bit of business that came up that's very important. I need to answer questions. So Stacie, would you take over for about 5 minutes till I come back?
Yes. Okay.
All right. I'll be right back.
You want to do something? We'll just do a little chakra vibration.
You only
Have
get
a
5
random
minutes.
dance party.
You guys want to do a little chakra wake up? Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
All
Do
right.
it.
If you will stand, I want you to stand up if you can. I'm gonna be in my boobs on the computer, but that's just where.
They look great.
I was gonna say nice view.
All right. So if you just kind of close your eyes, touch in your body, how your body feels. If you feel any tension, you feel any stress.
Has
just gonna
anyone
do-
had intense menstrual issues this last few days? Anyone else on their period?
I have my
Yes.
period. I got mine yesterday.
So
Yeah, I got it a couple of days ago, and it's like way more intense than it has been.
Ditto.
we have volunteered to collectively help process as these healers that we are. We are also taking on these issues for feminine. So when you have a lot of cramps and struggling, it could be a sisterhood, it could be kind of the feminine issues, but I wouldn't own it as yours, and just be the alchemist and feel the pain and just know that you're taking in, because we're going to have to start processing a lot of these traumas from the kid sex rings. So just know that it's totally normal and it's okay, but to love it. And whenever you're starting to feel the cramps, just breathe into it and then surrender it and give it away.
Very intense.
Okay, so you moving my
Yeah, this
left.
too. Are we all on at the same time?
Yeah, so this is going to be how we're going to move that energy, okay? But you see how it's relaxed, wrists slip, right? This is how we're going to just start liven up our chakras. You guys get that?
Okay.
All right, so if you stand up, and then our root chakra is our bottom chakra, right? So if you just kind of dust it away and just take a deep breath, wake it up. And imagine you have an energy hand, and then this energy hand is sending out all kinds of love and wake up. We're going to go over to our sacral, which is where your second chakra is. It's your sex organs. Breathe it in, send all this love, and then we're going to come up to our solar plexus and just shake it out, wake it up, say hello, send you this energy, and we're going to come into the heart and just imagine all this love vibration going straight into that heart, waking it up. And then you're going to come up into the chest, because I know this one is a special one that's coming up. You've been in our body class, you already heard Mom talk about this. Then we're going to go up into our throat. And we're just going to give all this love to your throat. May you speak your truth. May it always be connected with love. And then go all the way up into the third eye and just imagine sending all this love, light energy right up into your third eye. So then you always see truth. And then come up into the crown. And this is your connection to the divine. May it always be alive. It always be awakened. And then when you're ready, I want you just to come, bring your arm down to the side. And just check in with your body. How do you feel? Do you feel the difference between your right side and your left side? For me, my right arm feels so much longer, so much bigger, so much in touch. It's like these tingles. It's like I can just feel the energy pulsing from it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we want to do the balance now. We're going to do a quick little thing on the left side. So we're going to do the same thing. And again, we're just going to wake it up. This is your root chakra. So any kind of financial issues, if you're not feeling secure, we're just going to clear that out. And I am secure. I am safe. I am abundant. Then you're going to come around again to that front sacral. I am divine. I am passionate. I deserve to feel delicious and alive and creative. I allow my creative juices to flow through me. And then enter your sacral. I am your gut intuition, going to always love her, him, and listen to that gut instinct. This is your truth. And go into your heart, and may you always be able to just love unconditionally the whole galaxy within your heart. And then go up. I love this chest. To me, this is going to be where we're starting to connect to our star family and who we are and where we come from. I have no clue if that's truth. That's just, to me, what mine is at this moment. And then go up to the throat. And again, you give permission to speak with everything you do. Speak with love. Just send that love to your throat. I'm sorry for not holding back any thoughts in the past, but you now speak love. Go up to your third eye again. Love it. Thank it for letting you see all this truth. And then into that crown where we divinely connect to the universe love. And then when you're ready, just bring your arm down. Take a couple breaths and just remind you, this is your energy. This is your field. You get to choose what you feel. You get to choose what you put in this energy field. And this is yours and yours alone. So again, a perfect time to just remember that cosmic condom that Heather talked about earlier. This is your protection, your bubble. Only love may penetrate that bubble. Anything that is not a pure, unconditional love vibration automatically gets bounced off your field and returned with unconditional love. Ooh. Thank your body for allowing you to feel. All right. How do you feel?
That was awesome.
Feeling energized.
And tingly.
Tingly, right?
Ditto, tingly, energized, yeah.
This is, to me, it's amazing and how, like, wow, you can feel so much from your body so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's a good way just to clear out anything that no longer, but it's like literally dusting it off, waking it up, all this.
I like that.
Thank you. It's normally a lot longer. That's just a
10 minutes worth.
Yay.
I've never done it before. That was awesome. Thank you.
I did a whole.
I enjoyed watching it. Thank you, Stacie.
Hi, Heather.
And that ties into what I wanted to talk about anyway, because the energy, and again, bouncing off Christina's question this week, was this physical energy or spiritual energy? And I said it's all one continuum, and it never dawned on me that people wouldn't understand that. If I have a bottle of water and I put that bottle of water in the refrigerator, it's going to change the temperature. It's the same bottle of water. If I take that bottle of water and put it in my hot car and let it sit in the car with the sun baking, that water is going to increase in temperature, but it's still the same water. You are one energy aspect, and that energy is a continuum. And so at the lowest level, it's a very dense, a very solid energy. That's a negative energy is very sporadic. It's very jumpy, kind of erratic kind of energy. As the energy increases, it's much smoother. It's much gentler. It's much calmer. It's much more refined. If you can imagine the fan, the quicker the speed, the more you don't notice it. And especially if it's in balance. If it's out of balance, you got the wobble and you got all the kind of things going on, and you've got all kinds of other things going on. Well, you have one energy field. When you're at a very low energy, you're functioning in the physical world, and everything is that physical, third dimensional, taste, smell, hear, feel, etc. As your energy increases, remember we talked about looking through our love glasses, and everything becomes spiritual. That the significance, you might have fallen out of bed at a lower vibration and go, oh darn, I got hurt myself, I have just bad luck. As your energy goes up, you're going to see it as a spiritual experience and go, what was that teaching me? Why did I have that experience? the experience didn't change, but how you perceive it changes, so that the physical spiritual continuum is ongoing and it's one. If you're in a room of crappy people, you're going to feel that irritation, that irritability, and you may even take it on because vibrationally they're impacting you. Once your energy gets strong enough and more powerful, you then impact them, which is what we're doing when we're sending out love and light. And instead of them, in fact, impacting you, you're impacting them because your energy is more strong, more stable, more penetrating. But it's all the same energy. If you eat a lot of, well, let's just go with alcohol. If you drink, your vibration, let's say your vibration is at a 5, you start drinking and it goes down to 1 and possibly even lower, because people who die of alcoholism or die as alcoholic, or then they don't go away. They don't go off into the ethers for a magic cleaning. They stay in the lower planes, hanging out at bars and places in order to be able to partake of their addiction through someone else. So let's say you're at bar, you're having a drink, and as you become lower, you become much more vulnerable to other influences. This other alcoholic decides that I'm going to have a drink through this person, and they jump into your energy field, and now you're drinking for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and they keep participating with you, and you just keep being influenced by them. It's also why people who have addictions, alcohol and others, are much moodier. They're much less stable because they have all other influences going on. And if, for God's sakes, if you go to a funeral of someone who's been an addict, make sure you bubble yourself real good and clean yourself real well when you're leaving, because you don't want to take someone home that doesn't serve you. But if you spend time in meditation, that 5 can move up to 6 or 7. But it doesn't stay 6 or 7 when you jump back in your car and you start experiencing road rage. So your vibration isn't consistent. Everything you eat, everything you drink, every thought you think, every word you speak, every person you hang with, everything impacts your energy field. The more you elevated your energy, the more you're going to perceive the other side. Like Christina was saying about feeling her father's presence and it becoming very tangible. The more open you become to the divine guidance, the more you get more intuition, the more you get more awareness. And by the same token, the lower your vibration, addictions of any kind, smoking, drinking, anything that's an addiction that I have to have in order to continue on, whether some people that's rage, some people say sex, some people say work, they're all addictions. Anything that you have as addiction lowers your vibration. So you are always at the dashboard of your vibratory field, and the decisions you make and the actions you take cause it to go up or down. And so that at one moment when you hang up from this call, maybe you're in that love space, and then you get swamped with 2 or 3 ucky things, and then you're back down into less than love space. But it's your energy field will affect you professionally, will affect you personally, will affect you spiritually, it'll affect your health and your physical well-being. Every single aspect of who you are is energy, and that's being impacted by everything you think, do, say, consume, and so on and so forth. It's not separate where, okay, this is my spiritual world, I'm going to jump into that place, or this is my physical world. How you carry your vibration when you're paying your bills is just as important. How you carry your vibration when you're meeting with people you don't like is just as important as how you carry yourself when you're meeting with people that you do like and that you do appreciate. In fact, in the spiritual realm, as you move into this higher elevation, you will be tested. People will come into your life just to see if they can get you off center. And You decide whether they can or not. It's all just a game. We just want to get more and more stable in our energy. Yes, Terry.
So I'd like to go back to the bar with these addicted souls. And my question is, are they forever stuck in this lower vibration then due to those choices? How would they evolve?
Fabulous question. And there's several answers to that. They can stop the addiction on the other side, but it's actually much harder to break your addiction once you leave the physical plane. Leaving your addiction in the physical plane is much easier, even though it's still not easy by many standards. And so they can get that. Also, it's one of the reasons why the 12-step program has been so successful. It was spiritually given, and one of the steps is saying, it's too big for you. You can't handle this on your own. You got to get divine help. And so you ask for divine help, regardless of what you call the divine. And so at that point, the divine can scrape off all the extra souls that are hanging out. I see them as sort of like leeches that are attached to your energy, but and scrape them off so they go off to their destiny, and then you're free just to deal with your addiction. And so the 12-step programs, whether it's NA or AA or whatever, are very helpful in helping you eliminate that kind of process. And so they can deal with their addiction here, they can deal with their addiction on the other side, or they can come back and then go through that addiction again, or again and again and again. This life that we think is so very important is just a blink in the cosmic eye. You know, it's really not it's our only life kind of experience. We have lots and lots of opportunities for it. Although once you get in that cycle, it's much more difficult to break the cycle. And so it's not easy. Earth is transforming from a third dimensional planet to a fifth dimensional planet. It's why we're here. It's the transformation that we're here to facilitate. And so Earth is going to change the vibratory level and lessons that you get on Earth. So the people who have a hardcore third dimensional alcoholics won't be reincarnating back on Earth. They'll be reincarnating on another planet that looks and acts and feels like Earth, but it's been prepared for a much lower density. I was shown it, and I was given the name of Irion, whether that's the name that it'll eventually have but scientists are now saying, oh, I see a planet out there that kind of looks like Earth. It's actually being perceived now, but I don't know that it's been given a permanent name yet, but the name I was given by my spirit contact was Irion. And so they will incarnate back on that planet, continue out their games and their experiences until they master them. But it doesn't matter if it takes 1 lifetime or 100 lifetimes. You'll keep going through that lesson and that lesson and that lesson until you break through, because it's a game. We are moving at your soul growth is dependent on the lessons you experience. And so as you move through your soul lessons, you will come back and continue onto the next lesson and the next lesson, going back to that Kleenex box, that when if you have a lesson, you pull out your lesson and you master your lesson, but look, there's another lesson popping up. The lessons don't go away and they don't go out of order. So you're going to get the lesson, whether it takes 1 lifetime or 100 lifetimes.
And as we evolve and become more sensitive to those energies, if we feel one of them around us, is there anything that we can do to assist their journey to a higher level? Or is it just that we need to say, that's your journey, good luck?
Well, think in terms, if you're, let's say it's your nephew and he's got an addiction issue, and you can imagine talking to him in this lifetime, and it probably will have very little impact, although it'll make you feel better. You've done what you can do to help him see his addiction. And so if he's on the other side of life, you can talk to the angels and and you can talk to his higher self, and you can ask the angels to work with him. But you're probably not going to have a whole lot more success, because this is his journey. A lot of people, when they die, don't even know they're dead. And so by talking to angels and having them think about the angels, they begin to have that interaction with those in their plane, and they're not stuck, but they have movement, and they have experiences, because outside the physical body, your thoughts become manifest immediately. So if you think you're going to hell, you will. If you think you're going to meet Aunt Bertha, you will. So whatever your thoughts are, or what's going to be manifest instantly. So as I've they call them death doulas, but I like death coaches better. I've coached people through the death process and helped them prepare their scene, so when they die, they know exactly where they're going. They can control it, and they have sort of like going to Egypt. They have the orientation down to the death process, and I've even been able to walk people across to the death experience. And it's quite amazing. It's quite beautiful when people aren't as afraid of it as what we've been programmed to be. But yeah, they will continue the lessons until it's not their lesson anymore.
Thank you.
And if you're perceptive, you will feel exactly the impact that alcohol has on your body. You will feel the experience that cigarette has in your body. You'll feel the experience that those things have on your body. And then you make the decision to continue or stop. It's that easy. So all the power's in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. Okay. Anything else, Terry? That was a great question. I love questions. Anybody else? Anything else online, Stacie Elizabeth?
Not so many questions today.
What can we do to facilitate the questions? All right, then let's do a quick, a couple of spirit sprinkles, or little private tap-ins. Okay, Lindsay.
My name is Lindsay, and I would like a spirit sprinkle regarding to my relationship with my son, Jaden.
Lots of power struggles, lots of headbutting, and you trigger him and he triggers you, and you just keep going around and around. You got to break that cycle. I'm doing this going back further in energy. You've been around the block a few times with Jaden. So these are old lessons, and you either will break the cycle or come back and do it again. That's the journey. And so I highly recommend that you look at how to break the cycle and really work out the differences. He feels about 15. How old is he?
He just turned 16. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so close. He needs you to see him as a capable person. You tend to have lots of ways. Okay, I hope this isn't getting too personal, but you grew up in a world that was quick to diminish your greatness. They're quick to point out your flaws and quick to point out your shortcomings. So in your kindness, you pass that on to Jaden. He needs to have you see him in a capable light. So what I would recommend to you is to, every time you see him, literally time yourself. Every hour, point out a success that he has, something he does well. And every hour, so if you're with him 8 hours for the day, or when he's out of school, or 10 hours on Saturday, every hour, set your alarm clock, and every hour, point out something that you're proud of, that he's good at, that he's accomplished. He doesn't see those. He doesn't think you see them. And so you have to change that dynamics. Where'd you go?
I'm here.
Okay, but you left my screen. Okay, now I'm back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, and then I would recommend that you, for your own benefit, when you tell him something you're proud of, something he's capable of, something that he's done that you've noticed, do the same thing for yourself in your head. You have to change that dynamic in you so that it becomes much more natural to change in other people. You'd be amazed at the impact just pointing out successes will do. Did you notice that that came so easy for you? I am, you know, I just want you to know that I'm very impressed. But again, you want to every hour, and that'll be hard for you. It really will, because you're used to seeing the flaws and shortcomings. To change the dynamic will be a challenge. And you might even want to do some homework and write down things that you can bring up at every hour, very naturally infuse it, because you're going to have to change your thought patterns as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any other fingers?
I have one question online about, question is, why do they call alcohol spirits?
Well, I can't give you a definitive answer without going to Google and looking it up. I'm sure Wikipedia has an answer for that. But alcohol kills your brain cells. I mean, that we know scientifically that it kills brain cells. And with enough of that, you begin to hallucinate and see spirits. I mean, it puts you in a different alternate state, poison though it may be. And so that could have some bearing on it, but I would have to look it up. But literally, if you're highly, like Christina was talking earlier about perceiving her father, perceiving somebody else was mentioned, perceiving the energy that they were sending out when they're doing the exercise, start drinking alcohol, you won't. And that's why a lot of people will drink in order to run away or avoid their spiritual skills, because they're hearing voices. It's not schizophrenia. They're seeing things. And so if I drink, it goes away. So are you reading a question?
Terry says, the vapor given off and collected during an alchemical process, as with distillation, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, distillation of alcohol, was called the spirit of the original material. DrinkingAmerica.com.
There we go.
There you go. And for some reason, when I hear spirits, the Native Americans and alcohol, because it does relax a part of you. For me, I would agree that you can see the spirits around much more, and because of the density of alcohol, it brings in spirits. So it's like, it's this, to me, it's high dimension.
It'll bring in lower vibration spirits, the ones you don't want to play with. But when you're drinking, it lowers your density, and only the lower density dead people can get through. So it's not something that you want to open up and start doing channeling when you're drinking. And if you've got someone who's channeling who is drinking and talking about their, lovely new dirty martini, then you can be sure they're not playing with real spirits, or they're playing with very unhealthy ones, unbalanced ones, in my opinion. Great question. And like from the people that I've known that have been in the hospital and getting heavy duty medications, it often drives their soul out of their body when the medications close their vibration down so low that their soul cannot stay in occupancy. It leaves the body. So. Any other questions? Anybody else wants a spirit sprinkle? Okay, Sylvia, we'll go with you next. Unmute yourself. And then what we just ask you to do is to say your name so I can connect with the energy and then ask your question, and then we'll see what we get.
Okay. My name is Sylvia, and my question is, I've been told that I have a very, very old soul. So my question is how old, how many lives have I been? They said I have many past lives.
You know, it's like saying how old are the pyramids? There's lots of different opinions, and what's age. When we look at these blinks in the cosmic eye, you are a very old soul. What that means to me is that you are really here mastering the finer aspects of life. You've gone through lots and lots of lives, and you've had lots of experiences, and so now you're here to experience things that most people aren't here to experience. You know, it's like saying kindergarten kids are here learning one kind of lesson, and then we have people in graduate school learning a different kind of lessons. It doesn't mean that people in graduate school are smarter. It just means they've been around longer. They've gone through lots more lessons, and that's how I would define an old soul. You've been around a lot, and it doesn't mean your lives have all been just on earth. You've had many lifetimes and many other different kinds of existences. Earth is the one that's most familiar, and we think, oh, it's all there is, but it isn't. There's been all kinds of other experiences you've had, which is why you're sort of drawn to the ethers, to the UFO world, and all of that kind of creation, because you've got a lot of friends and family in various life forms. And also, we're not a single species. Just for ease, let's say my soul wants to learn very fast. So I may have 10 different physical beings with part of my soul operating in them, and I'm learning from 10 different sources that are feeding into my oversoul. I mean, it gets very complicated. And so when we learn how to operate in consciousness, we can be aware of the many aspects of us that are functioning simultaneously. And you have many aspects of you functioning simultaneously. One that's very close to your physical body that guides you a lot is in a spaceship circling the planet. I mean, you've got a lot more to you. There's a depth to you that is a kindergarten kid isn't going to appreciate or recognize. You just have to trust that your information comes, and you need to use it more, trust it more, let it guide you more, pull it in more, that you are operating in that third dimensional reality, but you could be operating in a much greater capacity than it doesn't mean the third dimensional goes away. It just means we're not limited to it.
Okay.
The example I like is Houdini. You know, the Houdini, the great magician, that he got very good at getting out of a straitjacket. You know, most people get in a straitjacket and they're stuck; they can't get out. And then he got very good at getting out of it. So then he would have to lock the straitjacket, so that he had to not only get out of the straitjacket, but he had to unlock the lock to get out of the straitjacket. When he got very good at that, then he had stuff wrapped in chains with locks to get out of the straitjacket, the chains, the locks. And then when he got very good at that, he put himself into a container and had to get out of the straitjacket, the locks, the chain, and the container. And then he had the container put in the ocean or put in the tub of water to make it more challenging. He did the whole thing for fun and entertainment, but he gave himself much bigger challenges to show, look how powerful I am. And so many of your life experiences have been put in your life by you so that you can look what I can get out of, look what I can deal with, look how capable I am, look how I can jump out of a perfectly good airplane. They're all part of that experience. And so it's all part of the journey, but it's meant to be fun, not to, oh my God, I must have had a bad thought, so I have this ucky experience, law of attraction is punishing me because I thought 3 negative thoughts last week. It's not that at all. And so trust, act, and find joy in every moment. And then you'll begin to connect with that one of many parts of you that's in the spaceship.
Cool.
And it is a feminine. You have both male and female aspects right now, but this one in the spaceship that keeps presenting herself to me is very much a feminine, and she's in this. She's really in command of the spaceship. Go back and watch some of those Star Trek or Star Wars kind of thing with those women captains, and it's gonna resonate. You're gonna go, oh. So, but yes.
Okay.
It's
Thank
just
you.
for fun. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Christina, you're welcome.
Me again.
Okay.
Hi, Heather. Okay. My name is Christina, and I would like to know if I should take the antibiotic for my root canal that I had done.
Well, first of all, this is a very personal question between you and your body,
Right.
because there's pros and cons both ways. And so someone who's not in your body shouldn't be answering these questions for you. With that said, there's lots of ways for you to receive the answer. And one of the easiest, and I talk about it in my book, Interdimensional Communication, cue up book, Stacie Harder, Interdimensional Communication. Ta-da!
Art and science of talking to ghosts, spirits, angels, and other dead people, / aliens, / galactic worlds, the world above. That's why it's called dimensional, so we can communicate with dimension.
Anything that does not have a physical body is still in pure consciousness. But anyway, with that said, one of the easiest ways to connect with that energy when you have a question like that, and so I'm going to ask all of you to do it just to practice and get the answer for Christina. But the first, you first just sort of smooth your hands so that you have all your hands having the same sensation. All right, we're going to go with 3 answers here. Your pointer finger is yes. Your middle finger is no. Your third finger, your ring finger, is it doesn't make any difference. Okay, so that's your 3 choices. I've assigned a response on each finger, and you're all answering this question for Christina. So we're going to sort of see if you all get the same answer or not. We're going to ask that source for the highest and best good
Real quick, Mom,
gives Christina.
which the pointer is yes?
Yes, yes. Middle finger, no, and then it doesn't make any difference. Because sometimes you put so much thought power in something that doesn't really make any difference. So yes, no, doesn't make any difference, okay? And again, I've assigned a response, and then I'm going to clear the fingers so they all have the same sensation. And then I'm going to ask that in my head. I want the answer for Christina. What is for her highest best good? Should she take this medicine, this antibiotic, now? And you'll feel one finger begin to respond or pulse or throb or have a different sensation than the others. So as soon as you get a response, did you get a response, Christina?
Yeah.
Okay, show me we're gonna now get a poll. 1 is yes, 2 is no, 3 is it doesn't make any difference. So show Christina the answers that you got. 5 fingers doesn't count. Okay, there you go. So, and I got a definite 1. So you see the majority of the people got a 1. What did you get?
I got a 1, but all the other days I got a no. But today I was like, I think maybe I should. But all the other days
Well,
it was.
and it could be that your body's in a different place now. than it was a few days ago when you asked. So you see the majority of people got a 1, but in the end, it's your call. It's your body. And so you decide. But when you bubble it from the highest source of information for your highest and best good, you usually get pretty good responses. But in the end, you got to decide, because you got to live with the results of that. I don't know if you've ever done oil of oregano,
Yes,
but
I
that's
have.
another antibiotic.
It is the only thing I've taken actually since I found it, and I haven't been to the doctor in over 5 years because I have that, and that works for me.
And
Can
then
I
the
share
other
a
thing.
story real quick?
Okay, well, let me finish this, and then I'll come back to you. And then the other thing is, when you take medication, always bubble it with love and light so that it serves your highest good. And that way, again, you're giving the universe the power to override the vibratory nature of that medication. And it's one of the reasons why homeopathic medicine can be so powerful, because it's just a vibration. So it's not an either or, either I take the medication or I don't, but you want to explore and see what's for your highest best good, and then do everything you can to ensure it's for your highest best good. Okay, now Lindsay wants to say something.
Please.
I've, always avoided medication, especially antibiotics, as much
Me
as I
too.
can.
I'm terrified. Like, I don't like them.
But I had dropped a little bit of hot resin on my leg once, and I got a little burn from it, and it had like a thin plate. It was frankincense that I dropped while it was melted. It burned me, and it had a thin layer on top of it that I thought was the frankincense still stuck to my skin. So after a few days of it not coming off, I attempted to, scrub it off, and I got an infection in the burn. And I did everything I could to avoid having to take antibiotics until that little bump started to look like a volcano on my leg, and the blood vessels around it started turning blue. And my husband at the time looked at it, and he's like, that is a serious infection, and I don't want you to lose your leg over this. You need to go into the doctors. And so, it got to the point where I knew I had to do it, and sometimes we do. So there is a time for Western medicine. I tried the oil of oregano on that thing. I tried everything I knew to get that to go away on its own, and it did take the medication. So
thank you.
Again, it's not about against something and for something else. It's in this situation what serves my highest good. And so you can't have a blanket statement that I'm never going to take medication. I'm never going to do this because I'm going to do it naturally. In this situation, what's for your highest best good? And that's where you tune into your body, you tune into the other sources, and you do everything you can to support your body's growth. But no one can tell you what the best course of action is for your body.
You're right. You know what it was?
Okay.
The dentist said that. He said, I don't want you to not take it and it ruin my work. He said his work. It was about his work. And I was like, wait, is it about my body or your work?
Well, again, that's where you go back and do your own investigation, your own work to decide what's best for you, not for his work, but you. But literally, gum infections can be exceedingly serious because it really does feed your whole body. The other thing I would say is if you're having teeth issues, they're often reflective of challenges making decisions. Your teeth represent decisions. So if you're having dental issues, then what are you not wanting to decide? What are you not wanting to make decisions about? And so nothing is right or wrong.
Yeah. It was a corrective root canal. Still. Right?
I know there's a lot of things that oil of oregano is I put on my toothpaste periodically when I feel like punishing myself because it's very hard, but I do it on a regular basis. And then the other thing I do is the sesame oil, organic sesame oil, I put in my mouth and hold it, and they'll also help your teeth. But those are more preventative things than corrective things. So You decide.
Thank you.
I'm getting a thing saying my Outlook has stopped working, so I don't know what that means. But if I go dead, Stacie, you're in charge.
Aye, aye, Captain.
For 20, oh shit, sorry. For 20 plus years, I owned childcare centers, and whenever you left the center, you always had to designate who was in charge, and leave it, and that becomes a habit. So even if I walk out of my house, I'll tell Gizzy, my dog, that he's in charge till I get back. So, okay. Anybody else want to play?
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Terry.
My name is Terry, and periodically over the last few years, I've had one ear kind of go out and just have a very high-pitched tone. And I really haven't thought too much of it, but the other day it happened, and it was a very low tone, which really drew my attention. And so I'm just wondering if that was just my ear acting up, or if that was something spiritual.
Oftentimes they will do that, sort of an attunement. And if you cue the book, Perfect Power and Consciousness.
Hello. Let me show you Perfect Power and Consciousness, Seeking Truth Through the Subconscious and Superconscious Mind by Dr. Heather Harder.
And I have it, I just haven't gotten to it yet, so great.
Well, I talk about that in there because oftentimes when they're learning how to connect with you, we talked about coming in the occipital lobe and your eyes fluttering and do different things. You can also get those very strange pitches in your ear. And so what I would do is say, okay, I'm listening. What is it you want me to know? And sometimes I would understand something, sometimes I wouldn't, but the sounds would go away. It would rectify itself. But it was like acknowledging those TV tests that say, this is the test of the activation center, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I dealt with it, as a joke, you know. But if it becomes troublesome, again, don't hesitate to check it out. If you read Perfect Power and Consciousness, which I know you will soon, I went to, when I was having all these heart sensations and stuff, I went to the doctor and had my heart checked. You know, I didn't know, and I don't get the information beforehand. I go through everything blind like everybody else. It's not the system I would have chosen, but nonetheless, it's what I have to experience. And so after I'm having these sensations, I went and had the tests and stuff done. In fact, kind of funny, the first time I had the stress test where we were on the treadmill to find out if your heart is operating correctly, the doctor's eyes are getting big and he goes, are you okay? And I said, yeah. And I'm trutzing along on the treadmill and they speed it up, put it at an angle and all this stuff. Because, are you sure you're okay? Yeah. And so it ended up saying that the treadmill was out of order and it was like way off the charts. I should have been, if that was accurate, I would have been in the hospital. So he said, it's not working. I've got to come back. So, but I don't hesitate to check out Western medicine. I don't know what's going on because it's all new to me as well. So check it out with your body, trust, ask.
Yeah, it's never been a concern, and there's no pain associated with it. It was just the tone being so much lower than what I was used to was the interesting part of it. So thank you.
Well, they're activating different parts of your brain that you've never used before. And so that can bring lots of sensations. But I would just say, if this is a message, you speak louder. I don't get it yet. And have them clarify. But yes, I got that a lot.
And one thing I would also recommend too is I've been getting a lot of those things, especially late in the evening, like while I'm in bed. I'll get a lot of like, boof, 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 and I could feel it. So there has been a lot of energies on the planet. There's a lot going on, but I do find that it's energy frequency shifting / could be your team / guides communicating with you. So if you're in a place to kind of sit quietly and ask questions, what is this? Is this this? Is this that? And then your body will respond, because we are new to really being in our bodies, in my opinion. And so as the ascension, we keep talking about, we have to be in our body for that. And the more we get used to being present in our body, the more sensation. Like just look at the shaky hand we did earlier, how much energy you could feel with just intentional stuff. So everything that's going on, I believe, in the physical is going to start showing up because it's our way of communicating. I think this body is beyond our, can't even comprehend the complexity of how brilliant we are. And so those little frequencies, those little voices that you were talking about channeling before, you know, some people expect it to be this big voice, oh, do blah, blah, blah. It's not always so clear. The more you get those little intuitive hits and the more you start listening, the louder those, you can understand those hits more. But there's sometimes that people just get really tired and exhausted, and then that's their team saying, hey, pay attention, we got to give you a message, come check in with us. So only you'll be able to find those true answers, but really pay attention of where are you, what's going on, and again, ask the questions. Is this, are you trying to reach out to me? Is this or is this? But I think as we ascend and get more into that frequency, energetic shift, we're going to be able to feel a lot more too.
All right, thank you.
Also, that there are negative forces sending energy as well. So as Sylvia says, that the 5G tower is affecting us. Heavens, yes, they're affecting us. The higher your vibration, the more they're going to affect you. So if, again, if when you're getting the sensations, does it feel good? Does it feel neutral? Does it feel unpleasant? Anything unpleasant, you want to bubble yourself immediately and ask for divine protection, guidance, and truth. And then see where that takes you as well. Because just as this spiritual journey takes us up, there are those forces on the planet that want to keep us down. So check out everything. You know, we bubble and love those ones that are sending us, that are mucking with our weather and mucking with our planet. They're mucking with individuals as well, humans as well. So just, if I just pass through this week, yes, bubble it with love and light, and literally circle it with love and light, and ask angels stand there to protect the earth with that, from that energy, and then just see all that energy only being encapsulated in that place.
Yeah, because I've been
yes,
hearing
if you've got a tower near you,
a lot of people complaining headaches and they don't feel good, but they're not putting two and two together. They're just saying they don't feel well and they don't know why, but there's a tower near them, but they're not seeing that for some reason. You know, so that's why I asked.
If you have a couple people in your world, I find 3 is a very powerful number at lots of different levels. But get a lovely little crystal. I always have a ton of them around. This is a bigger one, but just a little crystal. And the 3 of you go to the well, you're going to bury it in the base of the tower, so you don't want to do something that you don't want to give up. So just the crystal will hold the energy and it will send the energy out. That's why they were used in radios and stuff to begin with too. They're very powerful receivers and senders. And so by burying 1 to 3 pyramids around the base of that tower, and then literally sending lots of energy into it. Are you all hearing that frog voice? Stacie, what's the frog voice?
I don't hear a frog voice.
Well, all these hats said yes, they hear them too, because I'm hearing it.
I heard
Okay.
it.
But anyway, so do a little ceremony of holding the light, putting the crystals down there, and so that whenever you're sending energy, it's sending into the crystals, so it goes up the tower and bubbles it with love and light, so it doesn't affect others.
Wait, how do we position the crystals into a pyramid? I'm sorry.
Nope, you're overthinking it. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how you do it. Just
Okay.
do it with the intention. The intention is to station those crystals around the base, so it both sends and receives energy. That way, when you're sending energy into the tower, you've got a focus that's going to amplify that energy around the tower, and hold that and have it continue to send out.
Okay.
But
Does it
you can
need
make,
3 people?
you could,
Three stones?
You
No.
don't have to have 3 people. 1 people can do it. But when 2 or more gather, it's more powerful. You multiply the energy. It's not 1 + 1 + 1 equal 3. It's 1 times 1 times, I guess that doesn't make a difference. But anyway, it's amplifying the energy. So when you have 2 or more gather, it's more powerful. So I like to do 3, but 1 is all you need.
Okay.
1 is all you need. But what you're doing is something. Even just writing on a slip of paper the word love and burying it at the base of the tower will amplify the love energy. Again, it's not what you do, it's about taking action of some sort.
Yes.
Just do something.
This is a selenite crystal. I like these, and these are protection as well. But one of the things I do is I actually have them around my entire, like the corner of the property where I live. So the whole house has got this energy grid. And then I also do it in my room. So I just keep that extra protection intentionally. And at night, I'll always do my bubble protection.
Cool.
Yeah, we get so wrapped up in the order and the way and the how, but it is the intention that has the power. It is not in the crystal. It is not in the ceremony that you create. It's not in the people that you pull in. It's just the fact that you've pulled in, you've done it, you've taken action. That's what makes the difference. And next time we do our exercise, make sure, if I forget, we just send it to all the 5G towers in the world and just bubble and share with them. I know. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Lindsay. Great minds think alike. Fools seldom differ, as they say. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Okay, Miss Jennifer.
I am Jennifer, and my question is, I had a connection with my great-grandmother. Even though she spoke Italian, I didn't even understand her, but there was something about my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, me, and my daughter. And I often wonder about what that lineage is about, or where did we come from, or pieces of us came from.
This is very hard to explain. You know how a stair, you have the stair and then the next stair and the next stair and the next stair. You can imagine your female lineage coming down the stairwell, and each one of you are on different stairs. That stairwell is one unit. And your lineage, at least, is going back as far as you've talked about. All of those women in your family are part of the same soul family. So your grandma was a part of you. It's why you felt that connection, because she literally is part of that soul experience, that soul fabric, the oversoul of who you are. Your daughter is also a part of who you are. And what that means is you have an added incredible connection with them. And that can be both fun and not so fun, because as she goes through her lessons and bumps in life, your daughter I'm talking about, you're going to feel the impact of it at many levels. The impact that your mother has on you is very powerful, and the impact that you have on your mother is very powerful. It's like that connection. You're all one, having the same experiencing, but experiencing it at different levels and different intensities. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So when you're helping, and you've all agreed to come in order to break some really powerful patterns, that breaking that pattern is very important. And I don't know what that pattern is. They're not showing it to me, but perhaps you can investigate and know what that pattern is. But there's some spiral that you've all participated in.
Mhm.
And you're here to help break that pattern so your daughter's free, as well as every other woman in your family. Your family is very important. And it's why you've all invested in the same. I'm getting chills. You've all invested in this intense learning experience in order to break this pattern, to move in. What do you do in your life? I'm getting lots of chills. What do you,
Oh, right now I study more the natural path and in ascension and
okay,
what
what do you do for a living?
I'm just a student right now. I
I'm just a student.
love it. Well, I'm getting more into the healing, the vibration, sound, color.
Well, you and your daughter are going to have a much bigger influence on the world than what you can now see. And part of this lineage is to help build the foundation for your moving out. I know you said you're going to be in the writing process. That's going to be very important for you.
Hmm,
Okay,
thank you.
well done. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes,
Me,
I don't like doing
I'd
it in
actually.
public. You what?
Would you like to
Okay.
do it when we?
No, just do it now. So
So my name is Stacie, and I would love to know more about my galactic team.
I don't think you're ready to know about your galactic team. The fact that you have a galactic team and that you're aware of it is in itself progress, and that will continue as you're ready to know. It's like, giving a box of matches to a 5-year-old. You aren't ready to use that power yet. And so just trust. And again, that's your biggest challenge, is just trust what you're getting as you're getting it and be at peace with that. You having all the knowledge is not a help to you. You have to build your wisdom and your trust with it as you gain information about it. Knowledge without wisdom is dangerous. And that's kind of what you're pushing to get. I want to know all this, but you've got to be able to have the wisdom and the confidence and the trust to use it wisely. And so I would say just be open, be aware, be mindful. When we do exercises during our dream state, we will sometimes be very tired in the morning. You might ask some of the people you're closest to, because your whole team is also on the planet with you. It's not like you come down by yourself. Your whole galactic team is here also experiencing and growing, because only the people in physical have the right to impact the destiny of this planet. You have to be in the body as a human being in order to impact the future of this planet. So that a lot of the Galactic Federation and people have aspects of them in the physical body, because then they can act in the physical. But if you don't have that connection to the earth, you can observe, you can do what you can do to help someone get this idea or inkling. I can shoot a vibration into Terry's head so she can hear the low moan, but unless she gets it, interprets it, and takes action in it, I can't have the impact. But when I am here in physical as well as in the ethers, I now can have a much bigger direct impact. And that's what you chose to do. You chose a life of service, although that isn't necessarily fun for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I feel more connected, I feel way more resonance like to the galactic up there than I do down here.
But it's about balance. If you're attached up there and not down here, you're not helping. You got to be balanced between the two and bring that information, wisdom into this physical plane so that you're taking action as appropriate.
Oh, I definitely feel the heaviness of being on Earth. That is a yes, got that. I feel that.
Well, you've agreed to experience it so that you can transform it. If you couldn't feel the energy and the density and the issues of humanity, you can't develop compassion and the wisdom to help them move beyond it. So
Okay.
welcome to planet Earth.
Thank you. When you do feel the heavy burden of all of that, is there anything, I guess, that I could do or the rest of the people listening can do to make it a little easier?
See it from with new eyes. Change the way you're looking at it. Reframe it. It's all on how you're perceiving it. I love these. Just call me Elton John.
They're so fast. I have a pair of red ones, but they don't have rhinestones all over.
I know. I mean, I like the rhinestone. So put on your love glasses and stop seeing it as heavy. Your words are creating that. Your thoughts are creating that heaviness, that density. I mean, just look at how you're talking about it. Okay, so you're on Earth. Get over it. Okay. Time's up. Anybody else? Are we done now? Okay, Candace.
Candace.
Stacie, usually people say thank you at the end. Are you going to thank me for that?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. So I thank you.
I knew you would. You're welcome. Okay, Candace.
Hi. My name is Candace, and I would like to know what energies you see around me being a doula.
For birth, for death, for what?
Yeah, I'm thinking for birth, but I'm open to death. There's another one too, but
Okay. What I'm doing is feeling the doula sort of job description energetically and then feeling with you. And I would say, one, you have the compassion to do it, but it will be very, very hard on you because you don't just see, you experience. And even when children are born, the parents are real happy, but the kids are like, oh shit, what have I got myself into? They're not real thrilled about being born into this density. And so it was interesting one time, my father-in-law was dying, and the hospital had like two wings that were like in a V, and at the base of the V was the waiting area. So I'm in this waiting area with one wing being the terminally ill cancer patients and the other being the maternity ward, children being born. And amazingly, it was the maternity ward, it was the children being born that had the saddest, densest energy. They were like really like, oh man. And the people who were dying, the energy was so incredibly, I stayed there during the night, so incredibly buoyant. It's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I've done my service. In the daytime, the energy would switch because the people who were visiting the terminal patients were real sad, and people who were visiting the kids being born were real happy. But at night, the energy completely switched. So it is extremely emotional energy with both ends. and you're going to feel it, but you're not good at just being observer of it and letting it go. You literally almost consume it. Does that make sense? So it's going
Yeah,
to be a real heart ripping experience for you. Can you do it? Yeah. But do you want to put yourself in that kind of intensity on a regular basis?
that's exactly the same thought process that's been coming through to me. Imagining it and not resonating with the baby's birth. I love babies, but that birth, no, maybe, elderly, but I keep feeling it's going to be so taxing and heavy on me. And am I able to, and I would be so involved. I don't,
You've,
I
yeah,
feel.
you've served many times on the other side of life. Just as there are doulas on this side of life that are helping people either leave or come in, on the other side, there's exactly the same thing. You've done that other role, and it's why it's very natural for you to be drawn to it, but it's exceedingly difficult. It won't bring your heart joy. It will bring it into the heaviness of the experience. I would, if I were career counseling you, I would say find something. You've got a real buoyancy to your energy. Find something that's going to enjoy and perpetuate and empower that buoyancy.
Mm.
What can you do that's going to make people feel happy, bouncy, almost like champagne bubbles? That's
Oh,
what you bring to an experience. And so that's the kind of job that's that's going to make your soul in that kind of bubbly place.
100%. And I'm asking, what is it? What is that?
Well, again, don't expect an answer in the moment, but just tonight, before you go to bed, write a very sincere, I know that this is the joy that I want to bring to this planet. Please help me identify and bring clarity to the role that's going to help me create a perfect income, doing the perfect thing in the perfect way, and make it very clear. I always tell them talk slow. I'm human, talk slow. So I get it. But yes, there is a better job that will bring your heart satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. I feel
And
that.
with your permission, I'll also ask and see if anything comes to me for you.
Please.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to find out where we get these so I can help everybody get their pair of love glasses. Okay. Okay, Lindsay wrote it's just like getting something with small kids, singing, dancing, story time.
Yeah, I used to be a preschool teacher.
We'll see.
Oh, you used to be a preschool teacher?
Yeah. So maybe something, but makes the perfect abundance and income.
Yeah, I don't feel so much the being responsible for teaching them, but being with them and doing creative, happy stuff together. That's what I'm getting.
Okay, and please, that's a great point. If any of you are getting things for other people, this is the time to share it, because all of your energies are increasing. You're all going to become intuitive. You're all going to become much more psychic, if we use that word. So please share your insights with each other as they come up. Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
I burst the bubble of happiness because I really do believe, Candace, you deserve to be in a place where you can be happy. Like, the world is dense enough. Like, you are to be somewhere where it's happy. But I will say, I got it the second after you asked the message. I commented on my friend's photo today where her dog died, and it popped right up. She liked it the second that right after you asked the question. And my comment to her was, I'm so sorry, love. You all will absolutely be together again. This is the only thing I know for sure. And it just popped up, the death of her dog, like right after you asked the questions about do I be a doula for life or death? But I would pick something happier. But that's what came up. It just popped up.
Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just keep going for clarity. You'll get it.
Right.
I promise. They have to. All right. Anything else? Otherwise,
Thank
it's
you, Heather.
8:30. 2.5 hours. Not as long as last time, but still very respectable. With that, then let me get my closing comments. Now that I have official closing. Let us close in the beauty of peace. And then, oh, Stacie, did you want to say something, or did you have questions?
Yeah, if you just give me a second so I can go back to that. Okay. So, yes, you said you had closing. Thank you.
Was that it?
Yes. I just needed a second.
Okay. So we're all done. No questions? Going once, going twice. Okay. So let us close in the beauty of peace and understanding. Help us stay open to the gentle whispers of the universe and her teachings. Let love keep us warm, safe, and confident. Assist us to remember the gentle way, the compassionate path, the empowered highway of courage, and our commitment to our road of service. Remind us to stay open to the blessings and joy of our sacred journey and all those in the non-physical who assist us in every way. Until next time, I remain your committed friend and send you loads of love, light, and laughter until we next meet.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. And just a reminder, if you're thinking about the writing class or you want to get some more information, or you are definitely going to do the writing class and you want to think about topics, the Friday call will be same time, 4 o'clock Pacific. And you can reach out and text or message us if you'd like. And then just a reminder, today is the last day for $397 price. Woohoo! And that's great for literally, it's going to be a minimum of 4 hours a week for 8 weeks. So it's
So good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Look forward to sharing our magic together with us more. So thank you again. And
Loads of love and life.
yes.
Bye, Maeve. I didn't hear from you today, but I trust all is well.
Oh.
She said, thank you so much.
Aw. Okay.
Love you all. Thank you. Feel free to like and subscribe and follow us, HeatherHarder.com and Stacie Harder. All right. You can
On
do
it.